To question 2, call on the Honourable Member for Douglas Central, Mr Thomas.
Thank you, Mr President. I beg leave to ask the Chief Minister what assessment he has made of the potential effect on travel to the island of the UK's Nationality and Borders Bill.
Chief Minister to reply.
Mr President, the United Kingdom's Nationality and Borders Bill includes a permissive extent clause for the Isle of Man. The bill introduces an electronic travel authorisation, ETA. These provisions require an order in Council to extend them with or without adaptations and modifications to the island. The ETA clause limits the UK Government's ability to make immigration rules in terms of a local journey from one of the Crown dependencies. It makes clear that UK Government can only require ETAs on such journeys where there is a divergence of the immigration laws in line with Section 9(5) of the Immigration Act 1971 between the UK and an island, such as the Isle of Man, Jersey or Guernsey, or where a traveller does not have a valid leave under the law of one of the islands, in line with our commitment to protecting the common travel area in regards to intra-CTA journeys. The UK ETA scheme will require foreign nationals intending to travel to the UK for short stays who do not have a visa, entry clearance or other specified immigration status to provide information about themselves in advance of travel, including past criminality. This scheme is similar to the United States of America ESTA visa waiver scheme and will provide the UK with the ability to conduct security checks in advance of travel. Permission to travel will need to be checked and confirmed by carriers prior to boarding. The bill provides for fines to be served on carriers where they carry individuals in violation of the ETA rules. Relevant amendments to existing Isle of Man carrier liability provisions will need to be made in order to align to UK provisions. Operating an Isle of Man ETA does not represent an operational burden, as it is expected that refusal decisions and fines will be an uncommon occurrence. The Crown dependencies will establish identical but 3 legally distinct ETA schemes which will be administered by the UK, as the Crown dependencies rely on the UK's global and technical infrastructure. The UK and each Crown dependency will introduce secondary legislation to make provisions that recognise an ETA granted, refused, cancelled or varied by another jurisdiction. In practice, the UK will issue ETA approvals for the Isle of Man without referring these decisions to the Isle of Man. The UK will refer all potential refusals to the Isle of Man for a decision to be made. The ETA process itself will be online, short and simple. The cohort of persons who are required to apply for an ETA ahead of travel to the Isle of Man will have to apply online using the UK's ETA application portal once this is live. There are no definitive dates for when the ETA scheme will be operational for the Isle of Man, as ETA schemes for the Crown dependencies will be rolled out once the trials in the UK have been completed and all relevant legislative provisions and operational arrangements have been made.
Supplementary, Mr Thomas.
Thank you, Mr President. Despite the Chief Minister mentioning the permissive extent clause, does the Chief Minister agree with me that his answer sounded like this had all been worked out to come into effect from 2025, which is the assumption in the Republic of Ireland at least? And does the Chief Minister agree with me that effectively this changes the decades-old perception of the common travel area, in that the Isle of Man will now be treated differently from the Republic of Ireland in terms of the common travel area?
Chief Minister to reply.
I think the answer to the Honourable Member is I'm not going to make any presumptions. As I said in my answer, Mr President, there are no definitive dates for when the ETA scheme will be operational for the Isle of Man, as ETA schemes for the Crown dependencies will be rolled out once trials in the UK have been completed. I think the best commitment from me at this stage is to fully update both honourable members and indeed the public on such implications once these trials have been completed and we are fully aware of the complete process and any further potential implications. And yes, to a degree it does change some relationship, but again, Mr President, before we divulge ourselves into theory about relationships and implications, I strongly suggest that we let the trials be undertaken and for us to report properly to Tynwald on any further implications that may exist for the Isle of Man and travellers to the Isle of Man.
Supplementary, Lorder.
Could the Chief Minister advise, in connection with the Nationality and Borders Bill, what talks or discussions he or his officers have had with the Home Secretary or Home Office regarding the much publicised proposal that the Isle of Man, amongst many others, could be considered as an immigration processing facility for asylum seekers?
Chief Minister to reply.
Mr. President, I am happy to update honourable members in writing as to what consultation or discussions have been undertaken with the Isle of Man.
Supplementary, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. President. And those clauses much discussed in the United Kingdom, but clause 71 of the bill in Westminster that's already been entirely through the House of Commons and is now at the committee stage in the House of Lords, includes a new part in the 1971 legislation which says that the rules may impose the requirement mentioned on an individual who has leave to remain in the island only if it appears to the Secretary of State necessary by reason of differences between immigration laws of the United Kingdom and that of the island. Does that mean that the immigration laws into the island need to be fully consistent, even identical to those in the UK? And later on in that section, it says, in respect to these electronic travel authorisations and the islands, which is now just the Crown dependencies, it says the Secretary of State may, by regulations, make provision about the effects in the United Kingdom of the grant of refusal under the law of any of the islands of an authorisation in electronic form to travel to the island. Has the Isle of Man given away substantial powers in secret through this bill to the United Kingdom?
Chief Minister to reply.
Mr. President, I will respond to the honourable member, but it's absolutely impossible to expect me to answer a definitive question on a specific clause within a bill without some sort of prior notice or identification of the intrinsic detail of such a question. So I will respond as appropriate in writing.
Okay.